Exactly.
Right.
So as Tom said, over the years, I've been told that that was the mission statement of the district. They're the ones who told me that was what they came up with.
Educating for the 21st century.
Yeah, I mean, the vision statement that's on the, that's on the website is what Mr. Wright has read. But, I mean, it's, we can certainly get, go through that as well. I would merely advocate spending more time on the mission and then breaking that down, because that really will get you where you're at.
Well, I think the vision is supposed to be the guiding force, collaboratively to make students their first priority. Well, let's hope so. But how about collaboratively to ensure that students are prepared for the workforce and, life beyond this district, however we want to word that. And that's broad enough to encompass that. And, over the years, there have been different vision statements. My first experience, and I will tell you what the vision statement was, getting a school improvement report, and there was a district vision statement that was written for that school improvement report with no input from board members. So I've not had too much input as a board member sitting here on the vision and the mission statement. I remember some discussion with some of these things, but it's not been a guiding force. So if this is something that we're supposed to set vision and district mission and goals, this to me needs to be updated. The vision and the mission statement. And is this, Ms. Sear, do we know if this is the same vision statement that's in the district school improvement plan?
We have to cross-reference that.
Because that's been where the disconnect has been, is different people working on different reports, pulling old vision statements. So leaders or leader in education, that was the last one that I knew of after this educating for the 21st century. So where this one came from, I'm not certain.
So I guess the first step would be to just kind of do a straw poll and see, does the board as a whole feel that this one that we're looking at on paper needs some work?
Yes.
And then, because this sort of work is kind of laborious and takes multiple rewrites and edits, I propose we don't necessarily try and come up with a final draft of an adjustment tonight, but we affirm that we do need to address this and update it. And while doing so, take a look at how there's that alignment between the mission and the vision, and then do we want to take a look at the belief statements and come up with goals that are different than, than we have objectives there, but what are the goals? And those obviously should align with the district improvement plan, and we need to make sure we're updated and current there. So, this of course can kick off a trickle effect for a pretty thorough workshop. But I wanted to make sure we started with what at least we have right now as the one on the website.
Yeah, and I would suggest, whenever you do the show, you want to look at best practice in terms of processes and examples. If you do that, it can become a lot easier, quicker. Vision statements.
Yeah. Your general summary is usually what's out there now. They're getting. They used to be a paragraph long, 5-6 lines of lofty words. Now they're one sentence, pretty succinct and clear enough and easy enough for literally everyone in the district to memorize and be able to recite.
Yes.
Because right now, if the NCAA accreditation team comes in and we're to poll 20 people who are employed in the district, what's the vision? Probably no one could recite it. Word for word. I mean, people could summarize the gist of it, but probably no one could recite it because it's not short and it's not something that's going to be easily remembered.
And I think it's also in relationship to our discussion on Monday, as why I brought this up is, it seems to me we've been operating in put out the fire mode and not in planning ahead for the future. and people resolve that this district is a declining enrollment district, and we are now, we forever will be, and we're not gonna get more students, and I just am tired of that attitude. I think if we want to be a, leader in education, then we need to have a vision statement that reflects that we can live by, and with a mission statement and goals that everybody knows, and every discussion in this district should be tied towards student achievement, whether it's academically or a preparation for the future. So that's what other districts do. At the board table, how is this related to student success?
So next steps on this then? Mr. Lewis, thoughts?
I recommend scheduling a workshop where we sit down, and it's something I can help the board with. It's something that, we can bring someone in. I think as I talked to Penny about process in the past, the board in the past, it's probably been some 6 years ago, brought a firm in to lead the board, some discussion around, was it building the strategic plan, and was it reaffirming the mission, vision? I don't know if that, it seems like the timeline's off, so it doesn't align with this 2009. And I know that's before your time, but you seem to have some information that,
I'm not sure when the last time they brought someone in
Okay.
to with the board.
okay.
Honestly, I think a lot of it was done with cabinet and the prior
Sure.
cabinet, so I don't know.
Okay.
It was Mary Kerwin from MASD, I think around the 2009, but possibly earlier. And then because of NCA and other requirements that the board has not revisited, policy, vision, and mission, we have the discussion, and the discussion also related to district goals and superintendent and cabinet goals being aligned with those district mission and goals.
Mr. Williams, when we're going to be reviewing policies, so this new policy, did they stick something in there?
Well, the work that we're doing here aligns really nicely with the timing of the work we're doing with the Neola policies.
Yeah. Did they stick one in there, and they just let that blank just?
No, because that's something we build and then we populate into.
Something we got to do down the road.
Right, right.
So
So,
we hit that section.
I can certainly come back, at the next meeting with 2 or 3 proposals that the board can consider for a way to sit down and attack some visioning and mission and beliefs work. I've done some of that in another district. I know there's folks out there who specialize in this through MASB, and so I can bring back some proposals if
Well, it's, good start.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm on the website right now, and I don't even see this vision statement.
If you go, I can walk you through it, it's buried under a few layers.
you go into the
I'm
first
about
tab.
us, that's where the mission statement and objectives are, so that would seem that this should be there, but it's not.
Under the board policy 1000?
I'm not in that, I'm just on the about us.
Oh,
Just
It does say the Taylor School District is poised to be the leader in education as the community prepares for the future, but it doesn't say that's the vision statement.
I saw that too, yeah.
leader in education was the last one that I remember us discussing, because there was a very huge discussion about leader versus leaders.
I remember that discussion.
Do you remember that?
I remember that discussion.
I think I've heard of that. The importance of the S.
Significant.
Another thing you make note, I think once we get one, vision statement, I would personally like to see it posted at all the schools. People come.
Sure.
It should also be the
It
first
should
thing
always
somebody
be
sees on the website.
Website,
Yeah.
when you go into the schools, you walk in,
But it's not something that we get. It's
No,
something
we
that
have to make it.
collectively together.
Did you find it, Mr. Zorn?
Yeah, I'll have to walk you through it. It's, I found it in 2 spots. I I also found it under the reconfiguration task force, for some reason it's there, I'm not entirely sure, under recommendations. And there was Taylor School District Strategic Plan, and there brings up a document that says strategic plan, Taylor Vision Statement, Taylor School District is a safe, supportive learning environment where all stakeholders. It's exactly right. But I found it in another location as well on the website, so it's actually in a couple of spots. But I can't find that other location. But all to that is the point, it should be easier to find.
Yeah, it should be one of the first things you see,
Agreed,
actually.
yeah, agreed.
But if you look at, I just looked at our bylaws, our section 1000, district, 1040 is district goals and objectives. There's a whole thing that we're now following. Board shall at least annually establish and review a set of long-range goals and objectives to guide the operations of the district. All personnel in the district shall direct their efforts towards achieving the goals and objectives of the board in order to ensure that students are able to function effectively in their environment, employment, and continuing educational efforts. The board shall participate, oh, I just lost my place. In a long-range planning through at least an annual meeting with the superintendent and senior staff to review progress on which implementation of priorities, initiatives, and long-range plans to determine which goals have been achieved, whether any new efforts are needed, and to review major issues that may affect the future of the district. The board shall also consider and act upon objectives and major activities proposed by the superintendent to achieve long-range goals. Superintendent shall develop necessary procedures, forms, and other measures to implement the goals of this policy using simple, logical, and collegial processes. The superintendent shall provide opportunities for interested patrons to become knowledgeable about the district.